Hey there, welcome to Craft Central Designs. Today I have for you a beautiful, so quick, and so easy tabletop Christmas centerpiece. Perfect for a dinner table, a buffet table, a mantle, a coffee table, or just any space where you would like to add a Christmas festive touch. I love this project, and I hope you do as well. And I hope you feel inspired to create one for your space. Also, this would make a beautiful gift. Welcome to my channel today. If you are not currently a subscriber, I hope you will consider becoming one. And as well, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy. And let me know what you think of this beautiful, quick, and easy Christmas centerpiece. This centerpiece is, as I mentioned, so easy to create and very quick. I made this one in, I would say, under 30 minutes. And it was just so much fun to create. And it turned out so beautiful. And so I am very excited to be taking those centerpieces to the Quantum House. Okay, let's get creating and look at the materials that you will need for this project. I purchased these live edge wood pieces at Hobby Lobby in the wood department. Every other week, that section is 40% off. So, of course, I purchased mine on those weeks. Or that week, rather. It's about a little bit maybe larger than like around 12 inches. Now notice it's not perfectly round, which I absolutely love. I also have some smaller pieces of wood of the same nature with the bark on the edges. And I'm going to use those as feet for my centerpiece platform. What a cool idea, right? It just came to me and I thought, you know what? I'm going to use those for feet. And they were so great because I realized that they're all sliced in the same thickness. So I didn't have to worry about my platform being unbalanced. So yeah, I'm using those and I think it turned out so pretty. I really love this project. Now, I picked up these, some of these, they're mini wreaths, I guess you could call it, or they're also perfect for creating centerpieces with a candle in the center. Now, I got mine at Hobby Lobby. They have all different ones with all different types of greenery. Of course, everything's 50% off there, and if I were you, I would pick a few up and do some centerpieces because I think you'll be so surprised and happy with the way that they turn out so beautiful and so quickly. I have a few different types of greenery. Now, I chose 3 different types, preferably ones with different textures and even different shades of green. That will add visual interest to the centerpiece. I have some little berries there that I picked up at the Dollar Tree. Love those. I also have some solid red berries, even in different sizes. One of my arrangements, I put just some scattered berries, if you will. And then the other one, I did berry clusters. So I changed it up a little bit on the second arrangement that I did. But you'll see that as we go along here. But so you're just going to need some bits and pieces of greenery. Hopefully you have some left over from other projects. It doesn't take much, just a few pieces. I have here a gorgeous 1.5-inch red velvet. It's not wired. You could use a wired. Hobby Lobby has a red velvet 1.5-inch wired ribbon. You could use that as well. I just happen to have this beautiful red velvet ribbon that I believe I got on Amazon, but honestly, not difficult to find a red velvet ribbon in any craft store, Walmart, anywhere like that. But again, if you're not able to find any, which I highly doubt, but remember that Hobby Lobby does have a 1.5-inch in a red velvet. So I'm going to be placing 3 of these wood pieces on each of my centerpiece platforms. And what I love about these is the bark on the edges, and it coordinates so beautifully with the bark around the edge of the platform for my centerpiece. Now I'm going to be using Gorilla wood glue. You can use any wood glue, of course. And I'm going to place 3 of those on the side of my wood platform that I choose. Now, I did look on both sides to see which one thought was the most, which side I thought was the most attractive. And of course, I chose the opposite side to place on the bottom. So I'm going to place my feet on, and I'm going to place them right out at the very edge because I actually would like for them to show. And this turned out so great. It just came to me that this would be a great idea. Rather than to use some other type of feet on the platform, this just coordinated so beautifully. I thought it was a really cool idea. So I placed 3 of them on there, and I positioned them right on the edge. Now, what's great about this is it elevates the platform a little bit, and it also makes it easy to pick up. All right, so I am going to put 2 red velvet bows on each side of my arrangement. Now I'm going to use this soft red velvet, absolutely gorgeous. Very easy. Fold over a loop and hold it with your thumb and your index finger. Just figure out the size of the bow that you would like to have on your piece. Then fold over the opposite side and crisscross the ribbon in the center. Cut off the tail equal to the other tail. Now all I've done is fold over a loop, fold over the opposite side, and crisscross it, and like an X. Then I take a small piece of a pipe cleaner, and I'm going to wrap it around the center super, super tight. And what this is going to do is gather up the center, and this is when that bow is really going to take on a beautiful bow shape. When you gather that up in the center, that's what makes the difference. So you're going to pull that super tight and let it gather up very nicely there in the center. So far, so easy, right? Nothing complicated about this. Now, we have that center. We need to finish that bow. So I cut another piece about 4 inches long, and I'm going to fold over the edges because it's a little bit too wide to wrap around the center. So I put a stream of hot glue, and I'm going to fold it over very slightly, not even 1/8 of an inch, folding it over. Now I'm going to do the opposite side as well. And this will give me a little bit more of a narrow piece to wrap around the center of that bow. And that's going to finish that bow off and make it so, so pretty. Okay, so we're just going to wrap that around the center. Okay, so you're just going to wrap that very, very tightly around that center. So I put a little dab of glue there to get it started. Press it down firmly. Open up those tails so I can really pull that piece of ribbon right around the center there. This really makes the bow look beautiful if you do it, as I'm instructing here. Another little dab to hold that one. Cut off the excess. And now you have a beautiful little velvet bow to go on each side of your arrangement. Now, I place mine on each side. You do you. However, if you want to just place one, that's fine. That's up to you. But I like to do that because I figure that it's going to be viewed from all sides, especially if it's on like a dinner table or a buffet table. So I like it to be pretty from both sides or all sides. So I created 2 bows Actually, I created 4 because I did 2 of these. These are going to the Quantum House. There's a beautiful little sitting rooms there, and I'm decorating 2 of them. And this is going to go on the little coffee tables that are in the room. Now, notice on the back side of my wreath, I have jute cord. Now, those mini wreaths, let's just call it that, come with either like that very mini grapevine type of base, or they come with this kind of plasticky base. This one happened to come with the plasticky base. So I decided I wanted to put something over that, something that would adhere really well to the wood. So I wrapped it with jute cord. Now, if you purchase yours and it just has the twig-like grapevine base, that's fine. You don't need to do anything. I'm not even positive that it wouldn't adhere well with the plastic, but I didn't want to chance it. So I wrapped mine with jute cord. It only took me minutes to do with hot glue. Now I have my beautiful battery-operated candles there. It has a pretty flickery flame on it. They're very, very pretty. Very easy to find. Flameless candles or battery-operated candles. Everywhere you look, especially now in the holiday season, very easy to find. Mine I got on Amazon. Now, I'm going to be placing my bows on first because no need to put greenery down where I don't need it. Notice I lift up my greenery just a little bit and kind of tuck my bows in there. I don't want to place them sitting flat right on top. I want them kind of tilted so that they're facing the sides. So I lift up a piece of greenery and I push it right up in there underneath the greenery. Now, I'm not covering up the bow. I'm just kind of inserting it into the greenery, and it's very, very beautiful like that. Now, I did trim my tails with a slanted cut. You can dovetail if you like. I prefer a slanted look. Now, I'm going to go around and put dabs of glue underneath the bows and the center of that bow. And just make sure I have that adhered. Now, I placed mine, as you can see, on either side of the wreath ring. Now, notice how I placed my wreath on that platform. I did not place it in the middle, and that was very intentional. I like the look of that wood sticking out on one end of my arrangement. It's something different. I just thought it would be really pretty and rustic looking and very beautiful. And that's one of the reasons why I was careful to choose the best side of my wood piece. I love it like this. If you want to put it right in the center, feel free. There's the feet, just showing you how you can really see them if you place them right along the edge. But this is what I chose for my arrangement, but I always kind of go with something just a touch different, and this was another example of that. Now, I'm just going to go around with my greenery pieces and place them in where I want them. Now, this particular greenery piece, it always looks great in an arrangement and even on a wreath, but you can cut them shorter if you like. It happens to be one of the most inexpensive greenery pieces that you can get at Hobby Lobby. I'm only putting 2 on mine. I didn't feel any more was necessary, but look at the effect that they have. It's a great texture and a pretty color of green. And I'm just putting 1 on each side. And you notice I'm trimming it down here. Also, sometimes that particular greenery in the boxing and shipping process, some of the little pieces might be bent. I go around and snip those off. And I'm just going to insert it. Now remember, this wreath has a direction. It goes around in a clockwise kind of direction. So I place my greenery in that same direction. Okay, so I have some of these little frosted eucalyptus picks. Super, super pretty. I love the texture. I love the variance in the color going on this centerpiece. It adds visual interest, and it has a little bit of sparkle. Now, like I said, choose about 3 different pieces. Just check your stash and see what you have left over from your holiday decorating. Maybe you already have enough, because it does not take a lot to decorate this small 12-inch wreath ring. So I just went around and, tried to balance out my greenery that I'm adding to give all the visual interest to both sides. I lift up my greenery and I poke it down in there. After I'm all satisfied with the way it looks, then I simply go around with my hot glue gun, lift up the greenery a bit, poke some hot glue down in there, and make sure that it's adhered. So you see I'm adding a little bit of that frosty eucalyptus on the other side. Now I did 2 of these because I'm decorating 2 sitting rooms at the Quantum House. You hear me speak of this very often. I have this amazing, beautiful affiliation with the Quantum House, which, if you're not familiar, is very much like a Ronald McDonald House, the same concept. And I am doing quite a bit of decorating at the Quantum House this holiday season, and I am loving it, absolutely loving it. I'm doing 2 sitting rooms in the section of the facility where the suites are, where the families gather. So I was very honored to be in charge of doing that. And there's 2 coffee tables, 1 in each room in front of the couch. There's small coffee tables, so this small centerpiece works perfectly. And I thought it would be nice to have a battery-operated candle with a flicker flame. And they're currently there at the Quantum House already. And I'm just poking in my last bits of greenery. That was my 3rd type of greenery that I was poking in there, just here and there. Again, doesn't take much. This is a super easy centerpiece to create, even for the novice crafter. As long as you follow the direction of the wreath and poke your greenery in that way, you should be very, very easily able to accomplish a beautiful arrangement. I'm just pointing there. Do it in a clockwise direction. Now, on one of my arrangements, I did just some scattered berries with those Dollar Tree berries with a little bit of topping on them. Looks a little bit like they're frosted. And then on my other one, by the way, I keep checking in, bringing my candle in to see how everything looks. That's what you see me doing there. And then on my other arrangement, I decided to use clusters of the berries. So if you do more than one of these, you can change it up and do them each a little bit different. Not Dollar Tree. Hobby Lobby has a lot of different types of these mini 12-inch wreaths. They have all different types of greenery on them. I would know because I purchased like 12 of them. I'm doing some gifts for my son for his staff, and I'm going to do mini wreaths, so in all different themes. So I'm sure I will be filming that and placing that on my channel probably within the next week. These make great little gifts, by the way. Really, especially for like coworkers, they could put the little wreath by their desk in their little workspace. Great for those small spaces in a kitchen, or maybe as a grouping on a wall in a foyer. Yeah, lots of uses for these these little mini wreaths. As you can see, mine is a centerpiece. So yeah, this is just a really easy project with the wreath already prepared for you. All you have to do is insert the greenery, and yeah, it's as easy as that. A little bit messy, but so what? It doesn't matter. It's just through a lot of handling, that bark will chip off just a little bit. So now I'm placing my berries in there. Now, just not in big clusters, but just a few here and there. And just gluing everything on with hot glue. And just placing my hot glue right down at the very base where I'm inserting anything, whether it be berries or a greenery, bits of greenery. Now we are almost done with this, and honestly, you can't disagree that this was easy. Okay, this is super simple to do. And I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to add some baby pine cones. Now, if you wanted to add a little bit bigger pine cone, you could do that, but I would keep it on the smaller side, just so it doesn't overwhelm your arrangement. But I find that these little baby ones are really pretty, just inserted here and there. And of course, just with a bit of hot glue on the base of the pine cone. And I position them right around the wreath. I put on maybe 4 or 5 on each of my centerpieces. Now, as I mentioned, I did keep placing my candle back into my arrangement so I could make sure that how the greenery was sitting and how it was, positioned so that I could still get my candle in there, but yet not leaving a big hole, if that makes sense. So just went around cleaning up all the glue strings, and I have my candle in there now. Oh, so pretty. Just simple but elegant and beautiful with the red velvet and the wood. Yeah, I'm loving this. Tell me what you think of this and whether you think that you might create this centerpiece for your space. Also, great gift. Think about that. Okay, one last look at these very pretty arrangements. Please remember to subscribe if you are not currently. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy this tutorial. And of course, I love receiving your comments. One last look, very, very pretty. Okay, so until next time, you all take care.